I spent 4 weeks preparing for what I thought was going to be the perfect engineering job. Actually, let me be real with you. I was desperate because after months of rejections, this felt like my last shot. But here's the thing, I made it to the final 2 out of 700 applicants, only to get that dreaded email saying we've decided to go with the other applicant. The crazy thing about that rejection? It ended up being the best thing that has ever happened to my career. But wait, let me back up because I need to explain to you exactly how this whole thing started. When I finished my coding bootcamp in July, I had no idea what the next steps were. I was completely lost on how to find a job in this new tech space. And sure, I knew that I had to start applying to places, but once you start running into rejection after rejection after rejection, you really start to just question everything and if you're even capable of doing this. Have you ever felt that you made a huge mistake changing careers? Because that's how I felt. I'd wake up, apply to jobs, get rejected, and repeat. But then sometime around October, I had this recruiter reach out to me, and she said I would be perfect for this position. Oh, hold on one second. Yep, hello. I would be perfect. Oh, that's amazing. But here's the thing. She forgot to mention that I would be 1 out of 700 applicants. Oh, yeah, of course I know how to do Angular. Yeah, that's the other kicker. I never learned how to do Angular. I only learned to React in my bootcamp. So you see, now I'm faced with this choice. I can either give up or I can learn Angular fast. I spend days and nights teaching myself Angular, and not just the basics, but enough to actually build something. But then I had this idea. What if I could rebuild some of their components that they had in their application? This way I could actually showcase what I was capable of doing. So I literally recreated their navigation system and just added in some improvements. Was it perfect? Not even close. But it showed I could figure things out. You know what's interesting, and I didn't even realize it then, but this approach, creating this custom work without even being asked to do it, is what became my secret weapon in interviews. So I submit my application along with my custom components, and here's the thing, I actually get a call back. Honestly, I was shocked. 700 people? The interview process was pretty intense. We had multiple rounds. First, it was compatibility, and then we got into the technical part. I remember sitting on this round table with all these C-level executives, and I remember just thinking, actually, wait, let me tell you about this technical question I totally missed that probably ended up costing me the job. They asked me, why do you have private variables in constructors? And I sat there and I just completely blanked. I can still see that interviewer's face when I fumbled through that question. But I was feeling pretty great overall because I made it to the final 2 out of 700 people. That's when I started to believe that this actually might happen. Then I get the email. After careful consideration, while impressed with your background, we decided to move forward with the other candidate. I was devastated. I questioned my entire career change. Have you ever felt like you wasted a massive amount of time on something that led nowhere? I remember telling my wife, I don't know if I can handle any more rejections. And she said something to me I will never forget. It only takes one yes to make all those no's go away. There was something about that moment where I started to look at what I gained from this experience as opposed to what I lost from this experience. So after a couple weeks, I'm scrolling through LinkedIn and I see this post from a VP of engineering looking for junior engineers. The job description mentioned Angular, which is now what I had experience with because of my last rejection. I applied on a Wednesday. By Friday, the recruiter called me, and by the following Friday, I already had a job offer. I think about that 1 month-long process that ended in rejection versus the 1 week that changed my entire career. And you know what the crazy thing is about it? This company gave me opportunities I never thought was possible. It was like the universe was saying, hey, I know you really want me to open up this door, But trust me, this door over here, it's way better. Looking back, that rejection completely changed the way I approach my career. I realized 3 things from that experience that I still use today. First, I saw how applying my entrepreneurial mindset to technical interviews actually opened doors. But then creating these custom components that weren't in the job description set me apart from everyone else. Second, I started documenting every single technical gap that I had. That Angular knowledge that I gained from that interview, that was the exact reason why I got the job I did get. And third, this one was the game changer. And I even brought the same mindset to my new role starting day 1. When you've been self-employed, you think differently. There's no, that's not my job mentality. So I fixed the most bugs on the team. I volunteered for deployments, and I approached every project like it was my own business. That mindset of treating the company's code like it was my own product became my secret advantage. And if I'm being completely honest, I believe that was the true reason why I went from junior to principal in just 3 years at this company. So that rejection that felt like the end of the world actually became the beginning of something much better. So here's the thing, the skills I gained from a job I didn't get became exactly what I needed for the job I did get. So let me ask you, how many times in your life has something that initially felt like a failure actually redirected you to something better? But if you're currently dealing with rejection, I want you to just remember my wife's words. It only takes one yes to make the rest of those no's go away.